everybody, this is John. Let's continue to follow up with the Netflix trade. By the way, welcome to the free video. And it is Friday, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So for Netflix, the trade that we did here, well, let's actually back up here a little bit. So kind of a soup to nuts kind of a trade. So if we back up here to here, this had a pretty good move on the 19th, where you can see it went up to let's see, $628, and then it kind of came down, pulled back, and we got a signal here, bought it, held it overnight. Okay, let's back up here a little bit. All right, so with the idea, because what happens when these stocks are making new highs like this, and the reason, here is at a high, right? So here we had a signal on a 78-minute chart and on a squeeze. And so we picked up a position with the idea that it would make new highs, right? And so we got into the position, and it indeed made new highs and closed at its dead highs of the day. So we held it overnight with the expectation that it would rally. Okay, now it didn't. It actually came back down to the breakout point. Okay, so there is the breakout point here, and it came back down to that point. So that's normal, right? Well, so here we are. We got this great position, tons of profits, and the next day it opens up and comes right back down to break even. Now, we're not losing money on the trade, right? What's happening though is that we had a bunch of profits and now we don't have profits. It's easy to get a little nervous, and then it kind of starts to trade sideways, and we're trying to figure out what to do. Now, ultimately, it's the target on this. We were looking at some voodoo lines here, and what I was looking for is this was a shorter term trade, so I was looking at where the next voodoo line was. So there's a snow line at 632. Okay, so that's kind of a target zone. And if you zoom in here, what we can see is that from this high to this low, a 1272 extension is right here, right? So now here comes the strategy part. So we got these, we start off buying some calls. Okay, the calls are doing great. Okay, and then they're back to break even. And oh, it looks good, and it's kind of choppy. And then yesterday we just kind of closed kind of soft. So these calls expired next week. So next week. So then what we did at the close is sold the 630 calls that expired today as kind of a hedge, right? And you can see then what happened this morning is that Netflix sold off a little bit, right? Well, these 630 calls, I think we sold them for like $1.40 or something like that. They immediately got cut in half down to 70 cents, okay? And that was great. And once it came back down to support, bought those back. That was kind of a hedge. And then it did get a little bit of a surge here and actually broke out and started going to that 1272 extension. And from there, sold the position. So if we look at this, and why that's such a good hedging technique is that you can see here that of the profits on this trade, a good chunk of them actually came from selling that 630 call that expired today, right? And then once we hit that, that long option, I always say with long options, give yourself the gift of time. And even though I only anticipated holding this trade for a couple days and not into next week, my long option, I really didn't want a lot of theta decay on. Okay, so anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I just want to kind of go through kind of a soup to nuts, like, here's the, let's see, Netflix. So here was the, got the squeeze, get it in, boom, and then boom, we got the little bit of a pop there. And at this point now, I really don't want to hold a trade into the weekend because I don't really have a feel of what it's going to do at this point. I mean, at this point we got a 15-minute squeeze to the downside, but I'm not a big fan of shorting stocks that are that strong, right? All right, so that's the Netflix update. So if we step back here on Netflix, I mean, Netflix really looks really good. It's probably at this point actually good for an iron condor. I'd expect more consolidation at these levels, but that was the trade there. So I do want to dive in here and just take a quick look here at the transportation index. You can see that it did come down Pretty hard to support at the snow line here. I'd anticipate that it could hold a little bit here, but the squeeze hasn't even fired yet. And when it fires, I do think that things will get nasty from there. Okay. And then if we look at the spiders continue to look fine. And for today, as long as they hold that 21 EMA, they look good. But just, keep in mind how choppy things are here. And I really continue to like the idea of selling premium. And just real quick, we've had a lot of questions on the class that's coming up this Saturday. There's a couple different moving parts on it. I'd say the main part of the Saturday class, not Saturday like tomorrow or this weekend, but Saturday, the first Saturday in June. But a big chunk of the class is a strategy that I've found and have used for a while to find stocks like this that are like $5 that have the potential to just keep on going. The initial goal, I mean, of course, if you get something from $5 to $500, that's awesome, but it's even finding stuff that can go from $5 to, say, $30, right? And if the stuff that doesn't work, only goes from $5 to like $7, right? So it's just essentially a checklist and a step-by-step list of things that I found to facilitate this and sift through all the crap out there and just get that prime list of stocks and then how to trade it and all that kind of stuff. So that is going to be Saturday, June 6th, if you are interested in that. And it is let's see, that one is Saturday, so 2 to 6 East Coast time. And then if you just want to turbocharge that, we're going to be doing some live trading that Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, the 9th, 11th, and 12th. In addition to looking for those types of plays, we're also going to be doing some additional income type trades. And then with the live class, you actually get 2 free years of our Simpler Stocks Growth Scanner, which is great. And then bonus number 2, a 20-minute one-on-one follow-up consultation with one of our advanced trading coaches to kind of help you get up to speed. And those are the prices down there. So $297 for the Saturday class. If you want to also include the live trading and the coaching and the database and the additional strategies we'll be learning there, it's $997, and that actually includes the Saturday class. All right. So simplerstocks.com/blueprint, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there next Saturday.